Hello Lazy Savers. Today we're going to look at finding intercepts of an equation. What you're going to want to have you're going to want to have those notes, those printouts that I gave you in class, a pen or a pencil, and you may need a calculator to do some simple division and multiplication today. Your learning goals: I can find an x and y intercept of a linear equation, I can graph a linear equation using x and y intercepts, and I can graph horizontal and vertical lines. Your vocab: so what we're going to look at are y-intercepts and x-intercepts. Your y-intercept is the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. You're going to want to fill in these little slips of paper I gave you in class. Now, the y-intercept happens when the x-coordinate is equal to 0. So it's when the x value of your point is equal to 0. To find the y-intercept from an equation, what you're basically going to do is you're going to replace x with 0 and solve for y. So basically you're going to replace x, you're going to put a 0 in its place, and then you're going to solve for y. We'll try a few examples. Now, what about x-intercept? Well, you can probably guess the point where a graph crosses the x-axis is your x-intercept. Kind of like just like the y-intercept was a y-axis. The x-intercepts happen when the y-coordinate, or the y part of your ordered pair, is equal to 0. So basically, to find the x-intercept from an equation, we need to replace y, or if you see f of x, with a 0 and solve for x. So basically, either A, we're going to plug in 0 for y, or f of x, whichever one we have in front there, and then we're going to solve for x. Let's try a couple examples. So I need to find the x and y intercept here. I have 3x plus 4y equals 24. So I'm going to say the x-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to look back here. I need to replace the y with a 0. So I'm going to replace y with a 0. Just like that. Now, 4 times 0, this is what this means, 4 times 0. Well, that's just 0, so I can cross that out. I'm going to be left with 3x equals 24. So if we solve for x, we're going to get x equals 8. Now, you can't leave it like this. This is not what we're looking for. We're looking for the x-intercept. So I'm going to write that as an ordered pair. So I know my x is 8 and my y was 0. So my ordered pair would be 8, 0. I'm going to be very picky on that, however, because as you continue in your math career, you're going to want to see x-intercept and y-intercepts written as ordered pairs. So please, please, please make sure you write them as ordered pairs. Don't let me dock you points because you forgot to write it as an ordered pair. Let's do the y-intercept. So look back on my notes here. To find my y-intercept, I get to plug in a 0 for x. So plug in a 0. I know that's just going to cross out, right? 3 times 0. So I get 4y equals 24. Let's divide by 4. I'll get y equals 6. Now, just like my x-intercept, I write this as an ordered pair. So my x value was 0, and my y is 6. So that would be my ordered pairs. So my x-intercept is 8, 0, and my y-intercept is 0, 6. Let's try it again. So 5x minus 6y equals 60. So to find my x-intercept, I need to plug in a 0 for y. Here's a good way to think of that. I need x to be present to find out what x is equal, so I got to change the other problem. That's just going to cross off. So I'm going to get 5x equals 60. Let's divide by 5 on both sides. So I get x equals 12. So my ordered pair will be 12, 0. What about our y-intercept? Well, here's a way to think about it. Do you notice that every time I do that, basically I can cross off what I plugged into? So for the y-intercept, basically I can cross off the x portion because I'd plug in a 0. So I'm just going to be left with negative 6y equals 60. Okay, divide by negative 6. So y equals negative 10. So my ordered pair would be 0, negative 10. Not too bad, right? Now, what about graphing these? You can graph using intercepts as well. So let's find the two intercepts. So to find my x-intercept, basically I get to take whatever's with the x and set it equal to the other side. So x equals negative 2. So my ordered pair would be negative 2, 0. So I'm going to graph that point right here. Negative 2, 0, right there. Okay, find my y-intercept, take whatever with the y, set it equal to that side. Because the x basically is going to disappear. Divide by negative 2, I'm going to get y equals 1, so my ordered pair would be 0, 1. Or that dot right there, right? So, let's go ahead and graph this. So it looks like I'm going up 1 over 2. So I'm just going to fill in a couple more dots so I get a nice straight line. Remember, you're going to want to connect all your dots and then put arrows on the end. Please make sure that your graphs have arrows on the end because this line does extend both sides. Continue to remember that when you're graphing lines. Let's try one more example here, and then we're going to look at horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm going to find my two intercepts, so 2x equals 20 and 5y equals 20. So I know x equals, whoopsies, x equals 10, so my ordered pair would be 10, 0. And then divide by 5, so I got y equals 4, so 0, 4. I'm going down 4 over 10, so up 4 over 10 right there. So let me see if I can connect these. Not too bad. There we go. Make sure I put my arrows on the end. There we go. Connected my dots. Made a beautiful arrow there. Beautiful line. Now, horizontal and vertical lines. Here's a way to remember it. Heuwachs. Sounds kind of like German, but it's not. It's just a way to remember. So, it's kind of confusing to be able to know when to graph a horizontal line and when to graph a vertical line. Here's the way I remember it. Hoi stands for horizontal. Now, a horizontal line we know has to have a 0 slope, and it is a y equals line. So if I see a line that's y equals some number, I know it's going to be a horizontal line at whatever that number is. If I see v, that is a vertical line. Bucks is vertical. It has undefined slope because it is a vertical line. And then these are going to be x equal lines. So it's going to say x equals, and it's going to have a number right there. Let's take a look at a couple of here. So I have y equals negative 1. Well, come back to my Heuwachs here. Well, it has a y, so I know it's going to be a horizontal line. So it's going to be a horizontal line at negative 1. So if I put one here at negative 1, well, that's a vertical line because it's going up and down. So I know I'm going to have to be at this negative 1 right here because I need a horizontal line. And then I get to put arrows on the end. Another way to think of it, this is at y equals negative 1. So at y, where it equals negative 1, I get to put a line. So this one's also x equals 2. Well, x is with vux. So I know this is going to be a vertical line at 2. And x equals 2 right here, so I get to put a line there. Put my arrows on the end. Not too bad. Just remember Heuwachs. And that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers!